Imagine a garden brimming with vibrant flowers and lush greenery, a perfect oasis. Envision waking up to a tapestry of blooms and foliage, where every leaf and petal is in its prime, untouched by the chaos of unwanted growth. But often, reality intervenes with a less pleasant scene as weeds creep in, threatening to overwhelm and undermine the beauty and health of your garden. Now imagine if that garden could be yours. Let's explore how. To fight the enemy, you must first know the enemy. In the context of gardening, this means understanding the weeds that invade your space. Each weed type has unique characteristics and requires specific strategies to manage. Take, for example, dandelions. These stubborn residents of your garden are not just a nuisance. Their deep taproots make them tough to eradicate completely. Then there's crabgrass, an aggressive invader that spreads swiftly across lawns, thriving in the warm, moist conditions of summer. And let's not overlook thistles, with their prickly leaves and ability to sprout from even a fragment of root left in the soil. Recognizing these weeds, their growth habits, and the conditions they favor is crucial. It's the kind of intel that turns the battle in your favor. With this knowledge, you can choose the most effective methods to prevent their spread and ensure they don't return. Armed with knowledge, you're better prepared to tackle these unwelcome guests. Prevention is better than cure, especially in the garden. One of the most effective ways to keep those unruly weeds at bay is by laying down a thick layer of mulch. Mulch not only enriches the soil as it decomposes, but also blocks vital sunlight, which weed seeds desperately need to germinate. By smothering the soil, mulch keeps new weed seeds from seeing the light of day. Moving on, let's talk about pre-emergent herbicides. These aren't your average weed killers. Instead of tackling weeds that have already sprouted, pre-emergent herbicides work their magic by creating a chemical barrier at the soil level that disrupts the growth process of new weed seeds. Apply this solution early in the season, and you'll find that it prevents a significant number of weeds from ever making their grand entrance. Lastly, consider the strategic planting of ground cover plants. These low-lying beauties are more than just eye candy. Ground covers spread quickly, filling in gaps and leaving little room for weeds to establish. Whether it's clover, creeping thyme, or sedum, these plants choke out potential weeds by monopolizing space and resources. Each of these methods has its own role in a comprehensive weed prevention strategy. By integrating mulching, pre-emergent herbicides, and ground covers into your gardening practices, you create a robust barrier against the invasion of unwanted plants. With these preventive measures, you're setting up a strong first line of defense. Nature has its remedies, and so can your garden. When it comes to keeping your garden weed-free, the most eco-friendly methods are not only gentle on the environment, but also incredibly effective. Let's explore some of the best natural ways to control weeds. First up, boiling water. It's as simple as it sounds. Pouring boiling water directly onto the weeds causes them to wilt and die almost immediately. This method is most effective on young, small weeds and is perfect for those pesky invaders in your driveway cracks or garden paths. Next, let's talk about a vinegar solution. A concoction of vinegar, salt, and a splash of dish soap can create a potent weed killer. The acetic acid in vinegar desiccates the weed, causing it to dry out and die. While this mixture is powerful, it's non-selective, meaning it will kill whatever plant it touches. So apply it carefully, directly onto the weeds you wish to eliminate. Another great method involves getting your hands a little dirty. Manual weeding with tools. Using a hoe or a hand trowel to uproot weeds gives you precision and control, preventing damage to your beloved plants. Regular hoeing disrupts the soil surface and cuts off emerging weeds, keeping your garden tidy and virtually weed-free. These methods not only avoid the use of harsh chemicals but also maintain the natural balance of your garden ecosystem. By choosing these techniques, you're not just clearing out weeds, you're nurturing a healthy, sustainable environment for your plants to thrive. These natural solutions are tough on weeds but gentle on the earth. Sometimes tougher weeds require tougher solutions. In the battle against resilient weeds, sometimes natural methods just don't cut it. That's where chemical herbicides come into play. Selective herbicides are like skilled snipers, targeting only the weeds while sparing your beloved plants. On the other hand, non-selective herbicides are the bulldozers of the weed control world, wiping out all vegetation they touch. When using these potent tools, precision is key. Always read the label to understand the correct usage and necessary precautions. Apply selective herbicides directly to the weeds, ensuring the spray doesn't drift to your cherished plants. For non-selective herbicides, use them in areas where complete vegetation removal is the goal, like walkways or fence lines. Safety is paramount. Wear protective gear and consider the weather conditions. Wind can carry herbicides to unintended areas. Also, be mindful of runoff. Herbicides can seep into water sources and affect local ecosystems. Used wisely, chemical herbicides can be a valuable tool in your arsenal. Maintaining a weed-free garden is an ongoing effort. For those who dream of long-term serenity in their gardens, implementing sustainable strategies is key. One effective method is the use of landscape fabric. This clever invention acts like a shield, covering the soil and blocking weed seeds from reaching the surface where they can sprout. Placed under a layer of mulch or gravel, it allows water and nutrients to reach the soil while keeping the weeds at bay. Next on our green thumb agenda is crop rotation, particularly vital in vegetable gardens. By changing the types of crops grown in different areas of your garden each year, you not only prevent soil depletion, but also disrupt the life cycle of weeds. This practice makes it harder for weeds to establish a permanent foothold, as different plants compete differently with weeds. Moving to the soil itself, enriching your garden with organic compost is a cornerstone of healthy gardening. Compost improves soil structure, which promotes healthy plant growth and makes it less inviting for weeds. The healthier your plants, the less room there is for weeds. Plus, certain composts can even contain natural weed suppressants. Lastly, maintaining garden hygiene plays a pivotal role. This involves removing dead plants, fallen leaves, and other debris that can shelter weed seeds or disease. A clean garden is not just a tidy garden, it's a resilient one. Regularly inspecting and cleaning your garden spaces ensures that weeds don't have a comfortable place to sprout. By integrating these practices, using landscape fabric, rotating crops, enriching soil with compost, and keeping the garden clean, you create a robust system that defends against weed invasions. Each element not only helps in weed suppression but also enhances the overall health of your garden. Consistency in these practices will keep your garden healthy and vibrant. You've learned the strategies, now it's time to put them into action. Remember, understanding the different types of weeds is your first step towards a pristine garden. Employ preventive measures like mulching and pre-emergent herbicides to keep new weeds from sprouting. Embrace both natural solutions like boiling water and vinegar mixes, and chemical controls when necessary. And don't forget, maintaining a long-term management plan with practices like crop rotation and proper garden hygiene will safeguard your garden's future. With a bit of knowledge and effort, your dream garden is within reach. Happy gardening!